Assalamualaikum, welcome to CEO Club Pakistan. This is Naushin Tariq. Viewers, I'm very glad to introduce my guest, Muhammad Saad Niazi, Chief Operating Officer, KEENU. Assalamualaikum, sir.
Walaikum assalam.
Welcome to CEO Club Pakistan.
Thanks a lot.
Saad, please share with us your professional background, your corporate profile with the challenges in a nutshell, please.
I'll have to go one by one. As far as my background is concerned, I've been associated with KEENU since the last 6+ years. Prior to that, I was in a bank. I've been associated with banking since about, 7-8 years. The time I spent in the bank. Prior to that, was in a software enterprise. So primarily, I've been associated with this financial industry and now a financial technology company.
Okay.
Yeah.
So challenges.
Challenges have been many since this time, and day in day out they vary. For example, starting from the least is the hot weather that we face in this city. Difficulty in doing business. Things are getting better, but they have been one of the major challenge. Setting up an entity. Then you're prone to taxes from day one, because you see in the business that we are in, this is primarily a service business.
Okay.
It's heavily reliant on the human resources, the business plans and the strategy and tactics. So you need to have the right people and good people, especially in a domain which is not very common, and probably there will be a few hundred people in this country barely who know about the business that we do,
Okay.
the nitty-gritties of this, and the challenges that there are and what needs to be done to overcome them. So in that scenario, the lack of support, especially because what we are doing will directly support Pakistan as a country. We would be digitizing. We're actually laying down the backbone of digitization, which will help Pakistan in multiple ways. Especially the fact that the documented economy will increase by many folds, which obviously have major direct positive impacts in the country. So lack of support, which we do not see anywhere else in the known world, and in places where tech and services have outgrown every other business. Then obviously in a city, in urban cities, because of the traffics and the urban, especially in commercial locations. So commuting for my resources had been a problem. We tried to solve it some way or the other. But other than these, alhamdulillah, we have not faced such, I would say, detrimental kind of challenges that would not allow us to bounce back.
Okay.
So,
Nice. So please tell us about the KEENU. What is KEENU, and its philosophy, vision, core values?
So when we started this entity, the motto behind this was that we would lay down a foundation. We would lay down a foundation, as I said earlier, to digitize Pakistan. We do appreciate the fact that people try to leapfrog when it comes to technology, but there are certain got to do's which are got to do's. You have to do a certain things which are necessary in order to jump to a different level altogether. So POS was the first pivotal thing. POS was the first pivotal thing that was lacking in this country. In a country of more than 200 million people, we find 50,000 odd POS machines in the country. That's the lowest point of sale machines.
Okay.
That is the network that we own primarily.
Okay.
So we started with that, knowing that this is going to help us, this is going to help other players in the market. And once such infrastructural enhancements take place, many people take advantage of the same. It's like a road that you build, and people can drive their cars and can be used for transport, recreation, everything. So KEENU's philosophy is that KEENU, like the fruit KEENU.
Mm-hmm.
It's 90 to 95% of the same found in the world is exported from Pakistan. Other than that, KEENU is a multi-dimensional hybrid, and that is what KEENU, the entity, wants to be. We want to serve our customers. Our customers are merchants,
Okay.
that is retailers. They are corporate merchants. They are banks as well, that is financial institutions, and also consumers, direct consumers. So that is what KEENU is. And thus far, thanks to Allah, we have gotten around, and we achieved what we wanted to do. Now the real challenge obviously is ahead, but we have completed the KEENU's portfolio.
Okay.
We have a local e-payment gateway. We have a digital wallet, which is, mashallah, one of the best in the country till now. We have one of the most sustainable and services-wise, by far the best point-of-sale network in the country, and the only non-banking entity to have the same. Such has never been done before, so that's what it is.
That's great. How many jobs your company created? I mean, HR and so.
Approximately 200.
Okay.
Yeah, 200 jobs we created. And when I say jobs, I say most of them being highly skill oriented, highly technical jobs. And we take pride in the fact that not only that we have hired people, we actually hire on a very different criteria. We hire on the fact that, number one, integrity should be part and parcel of every employee that KEENU has. Secondly, we would like to see if there is fight in a person. If a person can fight and look at the challenge. I mean, if there's a challenge, for others it may be a point to duck down. But for people who work in KEENU, I mean, including me and including the most junior personnel, it's basically an opportunity. It gives us an adrenaline rush. We shut everything down, cancel everything else. We just start focusing on that problem. And this is what we look at when we hire people. And then we take pride in the fact that we teach them the domain knowledge. There are a lot of things that we know are proprietary to KEENU and the innovations that we have brought in. So I think just saying that we created 200 jobs, I think we curate 200 minds, I would rather say.
Okay, nice. What are the key challenges and opportunities in your sector?
See, I would first like to mention the challenges, because challenges are severely outnumbered when I'll speak about opportunities. But they are very important. You see, the biggest thing is KEENU and KEENU type of companies need government support.
Okay.
We need to be projected outside of Pakistan.
Okay.
If we don't, and that happens to be the biggest challenge for an entity which funds itself and which does not have any support whatsoever, no tax rebate, no cuts of any sorts. Although we are, and secondly, when we import machines, certain things that we need to accept. In Pakistan, we can't make these machines because of several reasons whatsoever.
Okay.
We can't put in a plant. We don't have enough electricity, especially cheap electricity. We don't have. So in such a case, we expect some kind of a scheme whereby we could get some leverage in as far as duties are concerned. So in future, and this infrastructural expense is not that recreational or entertainment related kind of an import. It's basically a must have for Pakistan. So import related challenges, dollar fluctuation, it hurts us the most, and we have suffered greatly, but thankfully, because of thanks to Allah to start with, and thanks to the resources that we all have people who take challenges head on. So we sailed through this time, but unfortunately not many businesses have been able to. So I believe these are the few challenges. Resources that we get and the technology that we aspire to make or develop, it's not that easy. Reason being that in Pakistan we believe that the academia is not moving as fast, or probably the structures are such that they're not in touch with the market to that extent. And unless we do that, it'll be the same problem that we have in cricket. When somebody from Pakistan's domestic structure goes into the national side, it takes that player about 2 to 3 years to get into that groove, unless somebody is exceptionally talented. Uh, I mean, not everybody is Wasim Akram or Waqar Yunus or Javed Midat for that matter. So that takes a long time. When a resource comes out of the university, that polishing period is a bit painful for the resource, for us. But obviously, talent eventually comes out. So these are the few challenges. The opportunity part, there's huge opportunity. This is the moment for this country that we can wash away all our mistakes in past, and we can really go ahead. We can make a lot of money. Proper businesses. When I say proper, I mean ignoring everything like tax evasion and everything. We can really do good business in this area. We can digitize this country. The great part is that all the young people that are coming into the market are already prone to what we are offering. From day one, when you catch them and you give them an impetus to start using technology, I believe this is the change that we were waiting for, and it's now our time. The young population, the old ones who we call old, still have quite a bit of money in their pockets and they could spend it digitally. What that would do is give us the real projection of what this country and this economy is all about. And that brings all the opportunities for the country. That opens up the doors for all the opportunities. You could have better rating at the lending institutions. You could have people see the growth, witness the actual growth, and people invest in the country. Luckily, in Pakistan, we have not. I mean, in certain areas where their infrastructure, I mean, the rest of the countries are replacing infrastructure, Pakistan is laying the same down for the first time. So we have not written off any costs that were incurred in the past, and probably this is the time to do it the right way. You see, so that's what it is.
Okay. Where do you see your organization 5 years down the road?
Well, because I'm a very optimistic person, I think KEENU would be the biggest and the best payments company in the country. We would not only be laying down infrastructure, we'll be impacting the consumers in Pakistan. We believe that we should be impacting the lives of approximately 50 million people in Pakistan, if not more,
Great.
in the next 5 years. Could be anything. Could be solving a problem for various stratas of society, various types of. I mean, for example, if you have a certain preference in payments, if certain needs, we should be able to cater it one way or the other. We would like to bust the cash cycle, and I think if we even become half of what half successful of what we actually want ourselves to be, I think that'll be so huge that we probably would have to have approximately 5,000 people working for us, and those again will be 5,000 minds that we'll be curating. So KEENU has, in my view, inshallah, great future. KEENU can, KEENU can be one of the most impactful organizations in the region. I would not even limit ourselves to one country.
Okay, what is the leadership to you, and what are the key challenges confronting CEOs or CEO business leaders in Pakistan?
Well, leadership, I believe, is the biggest burden.
Your definition of leadership.
Yeah. My definition is that it's a burden on a person who deserves it, who is able to handle it in the best possible manner. You see, leadership is, you can't even confine leadership in one line or several lines. It's you got to. I mean, there are books on leadership, and
Yeah.
that is the reason why. You see, a leader, in my opinion, is born.
Okay.
You cannot train leaders. You can polish them. Not everybody is supposed to be in a leadership role, but leadership is very innate. You at times don't know. You stumble upon it. So a person who's a good showman doesn't necessarily mean that he's a leader. That's the wrong sense that we get because we watch too many shows and sitcoms. What we need to, and movies probably, and what we need to realize is that leaders are, it's a very innate feeling. Something triggers leadership. So it is probably passion, environment, some difficult situation that brings about the energy that one has. But when you become a leader, you see, other than being aggressive and persuasive about goals, you need to have a very firm view and a lot of compassion when it comes to managing people, seeing what others can't see, practicing it, you know, countless sleepless nights, still maintaining the self-discipline. Um, I think perseverance is obviously important, but I think letting a lot of things go that you love to do, because there are some things that must take place, and keeping quiet when people expect you to speak, and speaking when people expect you to be quiet.
Right.
So a leader is a very is a kind of a job that you can't define leadership till you go through it, and when you define it, somebody else will differ from your idea because that particular person was in a different type of an environment and situation. So I think it's wonderful, and it's sad and hideous at the same time. It takes the toll on you, and that's what it is.
3 leadership competencies you would like to see in our new generation.
See, number one, aggression is very, very important. Some when I mean aggression, I mean attacking a certain situation or a problem, have with a positive mindset, rather than thinking negatively. But at the same time, risk calculation is very important. I'm not saying that risk averse is a very good quality to have in this day and age, but risk mitigation and calculating the risk prior to jumping on something. Secondly, I believe patience.
Okay.
Patience is a virtue. I've learned this since I've been in a leadership role in KEENU, and from the time when we started building KEENU from the scratch. Patience is, I think, the most important quality that a leader must have. What I said, the first thing that I mentioned, and patience. It's sometimes people sometimes say that it's a conflicting statement, but this is how it is: aggression, patience, and I believe the third and the most important part is, quality is empathy. You need to know, what others feel and what their situation is,
Okay.
and then act and lead them from there.
From there.
You see, a leader cannot be bound to one domain or one area.
Yeah.
A leader has an all-encompassing personality, and the leaders are actually born leaders of men, as I said earlier.
Yeah.
So these three qualities, what I think I'm on board.
As our COO, what is the biggest challenge for you? Cash flow or retention of key people in organization?
I think both, as you mentioned, yes, cash flow, and that is why I say that government intervention and help is a must. Everywhere in the world where I've seen, I've seen three things.
Okay.
Countries who have impact in this world, and who dominate this entire world, and secondly, who, for that matter, will have a lasting impact in history of mankind. They have there's certain things in common. They support their businesses in this way. They go out of the way to support their businesses. They bail them out, right? Secondly, they spend on R&D, research and development.
Okay.
Thirdly, they, I would say, they have night schools.
Okay.
There's a fourth thing, metallurgy, but I will not go into that detail. So this is what is important in Pakistan. This is what is precisely required. You need people coming into the job stream, getting educated at whatever age their age bracket they are in, totally focused on working and making lots of money, obviously in a halal and proper manner. not by any means necessary. And lastly, put them in research, find something new. A curious and a a curious mind is what is required in this country right now.
Do you believe in women empowerment? If yes, then what step would you recommend to empower the women?
I'm a very big proponent of women empowerment. I believe females are, I think, are a more important part of this society. Not because you are a female, because I believe females have certain qualities, there are certain things that females can do, and men will struggle in those
Do you have
areas.
female stuff?
KEENU does have female staff. KEENU has a very equal opportunity employment policy,
Okay.
and we really appreciate females coming in. Females have done a wonderful job for KEENU, and I think our target market in future would entail females primarily, because you see brand loyalty of females is unmatched, and the kind of things you see. I think when in this day and age in this country where a lot of enlightened people have lived, and we have a huge history behind us, you know, one way or the other, the kind of family backgrounds that we have, it's a shame that we still have to talk about women empowerment.
Yeah.
Because I think it should be in our nature that women are empowered. I mean, children, I mean, me, yourself, everybody, we are raised by mothers, right? Whatever I know, I owe a lot of this to my mother. And I think financial empowerment of women, it's part of our culture. Females are the ones who make things happen in this country. So this fancy word actually should be addressed in a very simple manner. That is equal education, equal opportunity for employment. Having said that, the law and order should be in the country should be such that women should not be worried about anything else like harassment, like for example, and I totally believe that there could not be a difference in wages or salaries for females. I think that's the most absurd thing in this day and age that you can think of. And I mean, if we just put our heads down a bit and attack this problem, females would actually be the turning point of this entire country and economy.
Okay, so any achievement you are proud of?
Well, KEENU is the biggest marvel up to now. That other than my kids, I think that's. I mean, I'm most proud person when it comes to KEENU. KEENU has achieved what none other has up to now in this country. Against all odds, in a time when we started, in a time when nobody had heard what a fintech is, the concept that we were talking about, the so-called gurus of that time until date. I mean, right now the gurus try to own it. That was their idea, probably. And at that time, people used to even mock us. What are you doing? I mean, so I think my biggest achievement is KEENU itself. The way we picked up the right resources, because we had a firm belief that right people on the bus is what takes it in the right direction. So right people with integrity, a champion mindset, a fighter spirit, and we knew we were going to go someplace, and this is where we are. Alhamdulillah.
What's the toughest decision you have ever made, and what did you learn from it?
I think the toughest would be the most discreet decision, but I think I would rather say that quitting my very well set bank job. I was working in a bank, and I think I was doing really well. I was at my peak at that time, and now I think that I'm very far from my peak. I'm still peaking, which is good.
And what did you learn from it? Is it a good decision or?
So what I learned was that how to conquer your fear, because sitting in a well settled job, but it still is not your initiative. I've always tried my best, even when I was working for somebody, and everybody's working for somebody at any point in time in his life. You're working for somebody or for something. Thing is that conquering your fear. is very important when you set on a journey. My belief in Allah Ta'ala has multiplied since the time I started working in KEENU, because when I was working under someone, under a shackle, under a shelter, I would rather say, not shackles. Under that shelter, I was in my comfort zone. So I could not experience the fearlessness that probably is part of my personality. I was not aware of it. It kind of that was the point which actually triggered the leadership that you were talking about earlier. You know, that was the time that brought it out completely. A new person, for that matter. Everything in my life changed. I started looking at the world very differently. When I look at a wall, I now think of it as an opportunity, and I start looking ahead of what's beyond this wall. So I think what I learned was that because I believed in Allah Ta'ala, believed in what I wanted to do, the opportunity that was presented to me that time, I was lucky to have that opportunity, but it just allowed me to conquer my fear, and it changed everything. So this is my
Okay.
learning.
Who is your inspirational role model?
Well, to be honest, I've always felt that, because I have, I mean, and believe me when I say this after going through, I mean, Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, I've always found him to be the inspiration behind everything, because what he did, and I'm talking from historical perspective, not from religious standpoint,
Okay.
what he did and the circumstances that he was presented with. Obviously, he had divine help with him, because he was the prophet and the best that ever will be and best that ever was. But I think the circumstances and the result and the lasting impact, and as per my belief, it'll be the impact will remain till Qiyamah. But the lasting impact, I mean, his personality and his teachings left on humanity are just amazing and unparalleled to anything that you see, which means that if you have the right belief, the right intention, and you have patience, perseverance, you can achieve everything against all odds. I mean, what I've learned in my journey, and I've started reading about Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that his the way he led people into, slowly and gradually, he worked on people. People worked on themselves, made themselves better human beings, passionate, focused. They achieved. They achieved something that you would not be able to achieve when you write it down. I mean, you can't write it, put those kind of projections on Excel. So I think Allama Iqbal says that खुदी का नशेमन तेरे दिल में है, फलक जिस तरह आँख के तिल में है. तो ये जो खुदी है, ये you get to understand it when you have such kind of a personality as your ideal. Secondly, Qaid-e-Azam, because I think the way he pounced on an opportunity for Muslims and gave us a separate homeland and gave us opportunity. That's what a leader should be doing. Give opportunity. It's up to us. If we take it forward, we spill it. It's up to us. But he gave this country as an opportunity to people live in it.
Okay. How do you manage your anger or stress?
I try to channel it to the best of my ability. Sometimes I do vent out. I'm a human being. But I do kickboxing, and yeah, I used to do Kyokushin karate. Now I do kickboxing. So it's, I mean, exercise. Try to get out some time other than work and family time, that I can exercise. And exercise is a big stress reliever. When you speak to yourself and you try to breathe, I think that meditation is also very helpful.
Okay. How do you define success? In 3 keywords or a single phrase?
See, achievement of one's goals in a minimum possible time and with minimum possible effort, the most optimum possible effort. I think that is success. But let me just tell you one thing: success never lasts. You know, you always outlast your own success. That is what human beings are. So in worldly terms, when you talk about me, when it comes to success, I don't think there's a firm success for anybody.
Okay.
I'm sure people like Muhammad Ali Jinnah, people like Mao Zedong, people like so several leaders that you see, they died without content in their hearts because they wanted to do so much more. That is probably what all leaders go through.
What is your idea of happiness?
Okay, for me, happiness is very innate. See, the calm that a person experiences when you are amongst either your children, or when you're amongst your loved ones, or when you're amongst nature. So I think the calm that I feel is happiness. Generally, otherwise, a very short-lived happiness is something that the kind of a eureka moment that you experience in your daily lives. That's just well, I like to put it in Lama Iqbal's share again. क्या इश्क एक ज़िंदगी मुस्तार का, क्या इश्क एक पायदार से ना पायदार का, वो इश्क जिसकी शमा बुझा दे अजल की एक फूंक, उसमें मज़ा नहीं तपिश व इंतज़ार का, मेरी बिसात क्या है तब ताब यक नफ्स है, शोले से बेमहल है उलझना शरार का. So happiness is basically a calm and content feeling. I think the small goals that we have, they give us a temporary relief, but the total content and the calm that you feel, I think I feel it the most when I do philanthropic work, when I help somebody, when I try to I mean, my goal is to make a lot of money, no doubt about it. It's going to really make me happy, but will it be a lasting happiness? I probably don't think so.
Okay.
I think when I plant a lot of trees which can give fruit and shade to people, I think when I can build night schools which can give opportunity to people who think all is lost for them, when I think I can teach them skills in that, when I think I can help people as far as their health is concerned, that is going to be the lasting happiness. I mean, helping mankind and human. I don't think there's any other way around it.
इकबाल के अलावा कुछ? You read a lot about इकबाल.
हाँ, इकबाल
And-
बहुत पढ़ा है बट आई थिंक जिसने मुझे सबसे ज़्यादा हेल्प किया है, आई मीन in my career as well, and as a human being, I don't know if I'm a good human being or not, but I would like to think that I am, and at least I would like to become one. इकबाल ने किया है बिकॉज उन्होंने उन्हीं एरियाज को टच किया जो मेरी इन्वायरमेंट के हिसाब से थे. ही प्रॉब्ली इज़ द मोस्ट रेलिवेंट. सेकेंडली सन जू की किताब है द आर्ट ऑफ वॉर. सेकेंडली वर्किंग विद इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस, आई लव दैट बुक. मैंने उसको कई दफ़ा पढ़ा, कई दफ़ा लोगों को मैं
Author कौन है इसके?
इसके डैनियल गोलमैन, आई बिलीव दैट्स द ऑथर. और फिर एक 7 हैबिट्स ऑफ हाईली इफेक्टिव पीपल, ये मुझे बचपने में यूनिवर्सिटी में शायद कुरान पाक के बाद सबसे ज़्यादा मैंने ये पढ़ी होगी. सो आई थिंक ये मुझे चीज़ों ने हेल्प किया.
And last not least, any message of optimism to the younger youth or the CEOs, entrepreneurs?
देखिए, मैं तो सिंपल मैसेज ही दूंगा. स्टॉप बिल्डिंग प्रेशर अराउंड यू एंड ऑन टॉप ऑफ यू. परफॉर्मेंस रिलेटेड एंग्जाइटी उस वक्त होती है जब आप ये सोच लेते हैं कि मैंने सर्टन काम सर्टन लोगों के लिए करना है, और अगर मैंने सर्टन काम नहीं किया तो मेरी XYZ चीज़ें नहीं हो पाएंगी. आई थिंक यहीं आप हार जाते हैं. आप ये सोचें कि आपने अपनी एंड बी ओरिजिनल, जस्ट बी ओरिजिनल, वर्क ऑन योर ओरिजिनल सेल्फ. अगर आपने किसी और का लिबादा ओढ़ के अपनी ज़िंदगी गुजारी, आप बहुत जल्दी थक जाएंगे, बिकॉज आप अपनी रूह की और अपने दिमाग की बहुत सारी एनर्जी उस शोमैनशिप में लगा रहे होंगे जो आप नहीं हैं. हर आदमी हर चीज़ के लिए नहीं पैदा होता, और जो चीज़ में पैदा होता है उसमें बेस्ट करे. ठीक है, ये मैं कोई मफरूज़ा नहीं बोल रहा. व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से इज़ दैट नंबर वन, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ समबडी इज़ बॉर्न इनटू अ लोअर मिडिल क्लास फैमिली या पुअर फैमिली फॉर दैट मैटर, वो अगर यहाँ हार जाएगा ना, या यहाँ से खुश नहीं होगा, तो कुछ नहीं कर सकता. अगर उसने ये सोच लिया मेरा बड़ा घर क्यों नहीं है और मेरे पास बड़ी गाड़ी क्यों नहीं है, उसी दिन वो हार जाता है. God knows آپ کی زندگی میں I believe in قسمت and I believe in نصیب, right? I'm a firm believer of that, but I believe some things are given to you and something you get based on your own effort. So جو own effort والی چیز ہے نا, focus on that.
And then rest to the
ہاں,
God
اور
receive.
لاسٹ بات یہ ہے کہ آج کے دور میں اگر کوئی آدمی پڑھا لکھا, نالجبل, یا اس کی پرسنالٹی میں نکھار نہیں آ رہا, ایک دن میں نہیں آتا, وقت گزرنے کے ساتھ, اس کا مطلب وہ خود ذمہ دار ہے. آج کے دور میں ہر چیز کلک آف اے بٹن پہ موجود ہے. اٹس آل اپ ٹو یور اون موٹیویشن, کہ آپ کہاں کیا حاصل کرنا چاہتے ہیں. سو پلیز پڑھیں, لرن, ریڈ. ایوری ریڈر از اے لیڈر, بٹ ایوری لیڈر از ناٹ اے ریڈر. سو میں کہتا ہوں جی پڑھیں and get inspired.
Thank you very much, Saad, for giving us
It's a
your
pleasure.
time.
It's a pleasure.